character is a professor of dungeoneering. He is
Not actually a professor.
Ralvar.
He's a
Yes, I am.
student
I'm a student.
of dungeoneering. He's working on his thesis.
Correct. I was looking for something called the Frog Temple, and in doing so, I met up with your character, Naswana.
Nasawala, who is a wood elf druid who is from a tiny village that lives in the trees that happens to be the protectors of the Frog Temple.
And we
Made
also...
up job you did.
Yeah, about that.
Oh, that's my sarcasm sign.
And then I also met up with you, whose name is Dee,
D.
who was a bard. And we eventually found and went into the Frog Temple, messed around with stuff we probably shouldn't. Long story short, we ended up getting transported to Wheel of Time universe. Did a bunch of stuff I'm not quite remembering.
I'll go over it.
So, well, I mean, we go to the Frog Temple, and there are all these portals that we have to choose. Someone gets kidnapped. Who was the first person that got kidnapped?
2 people got kidnapped.
2 people got kidnapped while we were in the Frog Temple. One of them was
Sure,
Odin.
no longer in our party.
Yes.
Odin. You can say Odin, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Odin. One of them was Odin. We don't actually know what happened to him when he was kidnapped. Who kidnapped him?
Lord Ruler. We don't know who.
The Lord Ruler.
No,
don't-
Lord Ruler told you that he did.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we found that out. So the Lord Ruler kidnapped Odin. We don't know what happened when he did that.
Yes.
Who was the other person that got kidnapped while we were in the Frog Temple?
You did. You got taken away by Alanon.
We were all asleep.
Yeah, Alanon took me away and gave me elf stones.
Yes.
3 of them to begin with, correct?
Yes.
I thought the Elfstones didn't come until we were actually in the Wheel of Time universe. And there was like a little vision quest in which he actually gave them to her.
No, that was in the Frog Temple.
She didn't know how to use them.
Yeah, she didn't even know she had them.
Oh, that's right.
He gave them to her in a dream, more or less, and she had her memory wiped of having gotten those from him specifically.
Anyway, long story short.
But don't do long story short. Do
No.
do long story.
Long story long.
Long story long.
Okay.
So then we pick a random portal to go through.
We had 2 options. We picked one.
Well, we had more than 2 options.
Not
We had 2 clear options. There were other portal-like things in the temple that weren't as obvious that you should go through. Like there was a pool of water that when you toss something into it,
It either shrank until it disappeared, or it expanded until it disappeared. And I wasn't sure that was safe to just jump in, so
Yeah.
I did not advocate going in there.
yes.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound
There
very
was
safe.
also
Yeah.
a weirdly rotating portal in a room with a pentagram. We decided not to go through that one.
Yeah. So we go through one of these 2 portals. There was an army that we could see through one of them, and then there was nothing that we could just grass that was blue through the other one. I think we ended up going through the one with the army in it.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And from there, what did we do?
We wandered around
We
the
wandered
Wheel of
around.
Time universe for quite a while.
Yeah, we figured out that one, we were not actually just somewhere else on our own planet. We figured out we had been transported. The world was strange. It was very similar to our own, but there were like a couple of different things that were weird and different. For example, on our world, magic appears to be dying off. There are fewer and fewer wizards, sorcerers, and what have you. So much so that they've actually accepted magic adjacent things into the group, like paladins and clerics, which technically aren't magic users for all the spells that they have. I think
Right.
also druids was another one. Yeah.
They
Just-
draw their power from
Yeah. So
different sources.
just to kind of try to bolster their ranks.
So we were trying to find the portal home at this point,
Yeah.
Sliders style. For those of you who remember Sliders.
Yeah.
Um,
It's revealed that I apparently have a talent for the magic of this world, and I'm instructed that I must go study at the White Tower.
If you are not familiar with Wheel of Time,
There's only 17 books. Get on it.
There's only 15.
but it is owned by the Aes Sedai, which is I guess a
Coalition, whatever the correct word is.
a large group of sorceresses
Yeah, and the
that have
surrounding.
significant political power.
Yeah, they are the Magic Guild.
That's a good word for it.
So if you are at all in this geographic region and you have magic, the Aes Sedai deal with you. You either become an Aes Sedai or you become not a magic user.
One of the interesting things about this world is that there are only female magic users.
Yes.
I know why there are no male magic users. I don't know if I ever told any of you guys.
You didn't, and it's not really.
It's not really important to us at the moment.
Yeah. If
So,
you're curious, read the books.
yeah,
I recommend the books.
there's only 20 of them.
It's just gonna keep going up.
Yeah, it is.
I thought you said that there were 25.
That's right. I forgot about the rest.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
so,
extended universe.
yeah.
This isn't Sword of Truth, goddamn it. Come on.
We're not doing that again, right?
So, long story short, you went under training. We tried to break you out because we thought you were captured because they weren't giving us any information. And it turns
Oh,
out
yeah.
you were fine.
Yeah, apparently.
They were just being kind of bitchy and cagey as they do when their whole thing is that they are mysterious and powerful. And the more mysterious they are, the more powerful they seem. So they want to be super mysterious. So they weren't actually letting me contact anybody on the outside during my training. Despite the fact that I was writing letters, none of them were getting to them. And their letters weren't getting to me. So they thought I was in trouble, so they tried to break me out, and that didn't go well.
I have the ability to talk to animals, and I have a habit of talking to crows in order to try and get stuff done. In this particular case, I used a rat, which was probably not the best idea.
I got eaten by a cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got eaten by a cat because rats in the Wheel of Time universe specifically are messengers of the Dark One, so they actually have specific wards, and cats designed to catch any and all rats.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that kind
That's
of,
why it was funny.
that's why it was funny.
That's why it was
And when
really
the rat
funny.
failed, she used a crow, which is the same thing.
Yep. Yep.
I picked them because they're smart animals.
You're not wrong.
Well,
They are.
that's why Fantasy Satan does too, I'm sure.
Smart, ubiquitous animals. They are very convenient. So I got in trouble.
Anyway, long story short, you finished your training.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, as we're leaving, we hear that there's another ruins that we're going to go explore and see if there's any portals there. But before we get there, we are accosted by a crazy lady.
Lanfear?
Lanfear.
Yes.
Uh,
She's insane.
who has been making like weird little bits of contact with us on and off
Oh
and
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But she'd already contacted us. When was the first time that she contacted us?
on. Back on our world.
Yeah.
She was like a supernaturally charming personality, so she like
Yeah.
forced us compelled us to take her into our group for a short ways.
The thing is that she's very pretty and she's very charming, and if you don't know who she is, she seems super helpful, if a little bit on the dangerous side. Which, if you're into that, isn't necessarily a bad thing. So
No
they
kink
were-
shaming.
she was with the group, but then when I came, I knew who she was because she is famously evil. And they had told me about her and people like her while I was studying. So when she said, okay, I have a mission for you all, I'm like, hard pass. And then she compelled us to do it anyway. So that's why we are afraid of her. So during the, I was sent to fetch an artifact. While as an Aes Sedai I have complete rights to stroll into wherever I like and take whatever magical artifacts are there, and I did that, I also managed to damage relations between that country and the White Tower. So,
We weren't really given a good choice though.
yeah, it was die. They just, this is chance die, and they decided they didn't like what I had done. They thought I was being too rude.
And our options were either steal it or ask for it politely, which we did.
Yeah, we did.
So, and
We just didn't ask polite enough. There's like 8 forms of polite that you're supposed to do with these different lords. They're political machinations. I'm not Littlefinger. So when we got the object and we were getting the fuck out of town because we weren't sure if they were going to get chased or not, we weren't, but we thought it was better to run anyway. And so outside of town we get attacked by monsters.
No, first we stop at this little town.
Oh, okay.
And you're wearing your Aes Sedai robes, and they're fucking terrified of us.
They won't
because
let
of
us
that.
pay for anything.
They won't let us pay for anything.
They give us horses.
Oh! We forgot about Matt, my boyfriend!
We're,
He's not my boyfriend.
so while they were waiting for me in the town, she flirted in Tarvalon.
Yeah,
She flirted with a dude.
yeah, there was a guy that came in who seemed to know things about important people, and so I was flirting with him mostly in order to get information from him, honestly.
You were using it.
Yeah, actually, I was attempting to. But he was, it was weird. He was, like, weirdly skinny and was eating entire chickens.
Like
So,
Plural.
not your type, huh?
Multiple chickens.
For those that are curious, he had just been healed from a very debilitating sickness. Healing in that world requires energy from the healed, so he was emaciated due to the
not,
healing.
not due to the healing, he's emaciated due to the sickness.
Both.
But then the healing, because it took what little strength he had left
Yeah.
at the time, he needed to replenish that, which of course left him extravagantly
Ravenous.
Yes.
ravenous.
And so I tried to get him to come back the next night, which he did, and then he wanted to gamble with me and Woodson and Odin. And, Odin was smoking opium with this guy.
That's important. Not really, but it was a
like
thing he did.
smoking opium and drinking. That was his thing. If he
Yeah,
wasn't
that-
fighting, he was doing one of those two
Yeah,
things.
actually, those were the 3 things that he was good at.
I recall I won exactly enough for a nice room at a nearby fancy hotel, at which point I got up and left, because he was gaming it. He was like, I was positive he was like,
Sharking.
was sharking us, and at a certain point we'd gamble too much and we'd lose everything. So the second I got enough for a room,
Walk away while
I
you're ahead.
bolted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and Odin just kept gambling with this guy because we kept winning. And then eventually, I didn't want to gamble any more money because the stakes were too high, and I didn't want to lose all my money. So I was putting up items that are worth things in a sentimental way, sentimental value type stuff instead. And then eventually,
It's easier to lose the sentimental object than the money that wasn't yours in the first place. D&D.
you know what?
101.
We have to pay for rooms and shit, okay? Like,
That place was very
okay,
expensive.
first of all,
world.
this place was a very expensive world. Our money was worth like 1/10 of what it was supposed to be worth, or something like that. I never quite worked out the math. It was ridiculous, though.
So anyway, well,
So eventually, it gets to the point in the gambling where we're done, and he's got this big
He
bag
won,
of coin.
of course.
He won, of course. But then, like, as he's walking out the door, he just drops his bag of gold and leaves. And then we never heard from him again.
which then proceeded to fund the rest of the trip.
And
Up to
still
now.
has funded
Still
us
is funding our trip, yeah.
because he
Nice.
had
There was a huge bag
of more than gold.
of,
Yeah.
like,
Gold that's worth far more
iridium
than ours.
and,
Yeah.
like, old platinums and, like,
Plat-
just, like, so much money.
Talk about a ground score.
Yeah.
In our last adventure, we used it to help
By a city.
buy
We bought a city.
Nice.
Yeah.
Basically what happened was, oh shit, well we're not there yet,
We're another
Chronological
Yeah,
order.
chronological order.
Okay, so that was Matt, and how we ended up with all this money.
Yeah.
That was the point of that.
Yeah. So then we get horses, and we're still traveling away. When we're attacked, our horses are killed
First.
immediately after we got them.
Yeah,
The very next day
the very next day.
by monsters, and while we were fighting the monsters, the item that we were sent to retrieve is broken. Basically, it was like a little power source, and since I was using magic near it and didn't know enough about how to use it to not use it, I used it by accident.
Oops.
So when we ran into Lanfear,
So Lanfear popped up immediately after we killed the monsters, and was all like, "So you broke the thing I sent you to get?" I'm like, "You are like 15 minutes late, bitch. What you want?" So she sent us back to our world and said if she ever saw us again, she'd kill us.
yeah,
So we're not on good terms with her.
No.
because we were on good terms with her before that moment.
Well, before that moment, we were useful tools, and that's as good as you can get. She's also apparently my mentor. I can contact. That's kind of a little bit further ahead, but supposedly, if you get a magic ability, you have one person that you're allowed to contact from that world and ask for help. She's mine.
Uh-oh.
Well, shit.
Yeah. And so when I was talking about her being evil, so for people who haven't read the books, there are servants of not Satan. She's one of them. She is one of the 13 Forsaken. She's also stupidly powerful because she's from the Golden Age and was not at all involved with the decline. So once the Golden Age was over, it's like very Lord of the Rings, you know, once the rings got corrupted and everything, the Golden Age is over, people don't have any of the same power.
No, yeah.
So that's where the world is at now. It's far past its Golden Age and not really able to achieve any of the good stuff that they had. She's from the Golden Age and was powerful during that age, so if there's anybody that can teach me shit, it's her. If she doesn't kill me first. Or corrupt me. Because she's not Satan's disciple.
Right.
Okay, so once we get back to our world, we decide to go into the nearest town to see what's up. We, for the first time, decide to try and see if there's a newspaper to see what's up with the new world. And guess what? It exists. So we find out all kinds of shit without actually having to ask anybody, which is really nice.
Oh, nice.
Apparently it's been 9 months,
Yeah.
and we've only been gone for 3?
Yeah, there was a time disparity.
There's a time disparity,
Yeah.
apparently. Wheel of Time, go figure.
It happens.
And
That
so
was designed.
So we discover that the Frog Temple has been destroyed. We actually end up making our way back to the Frog Temple where we run into my... In our very first session, we go to the Frog Temple, right? And we have to go through my village to get there. But apparently it doesn't really matter because everybody in my village has been slaughtered brutally. There's blood everywhere. Everyone I've ever known my entire life is dead.
They accidentally opened a portal to the Blender dimension.
Whoops.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It was pretty bad.
very
And so we go back to my village to see the Frog Temple because reasons. And my family's there. And like all the blood's cleaned up and like it looks nice and my family tries to convince me to stay and I'm like, nope, not happening. Did I skip anything?
They collapsed the Frog Temple.
Yeah.
They had apparently escaped, had come back, cleaned up, and collapsed the Frog Temple.
Yes. And so we decide that we need to go see the High Druid, which is one of the icons of this world. They're like demigod type people like us.
Right.
And so we decide to go see the High Druid because that makes sense. And my mom gives us a map, which means that we go through this maze that's Mom designed for us very, very quickly.
So there was an elaborate maze, and the Druid was in the center of it. And here's this maze, solve it if you can. Because there are traps and deceptions. I'm gonna go this way.
Well, there's no traps.
Well, there's
that
no...
way.
Yeah, that works.
That works. There's no traps or monsters or anything
Nothing.
that way.
None of the treasure we're supposed to find either.
Oh.
Yeah. So we didn't get any of our treasure, we didn't fight any of our people that we were supposed to fight. But when we get to the High Druid, it's even worse because she's dead.
Oh.
Well, fine. You solved my maze. She's dead.
Actually, I think that was part of the plan.
That wasn't her being the High Druid was supposed to be dead.
Yeah. What's the name of the dude?
Randall Flagg.
Randall Flagg apparently has killed her and is trying to convince us to join his cause because apparently all of the worlds are colliding. There are lots of worlds apparently, and the worlds are colliding into one, and he thinks that this will create some kind of mega world utopia. Whereas you know, realistically, if that happens, they're going to smash into each other and destroy each other.
That's what we predict is going to happen.
Yeah, and so we're trying to keep this from
Trying
happening.
to stop that.
Yeah.
Which
at,
is why
at
we're
best,
looking-
we're gonna have a bunch of warring nations trying to, with well balances of power work out.
The obnoxious part is he doesn't think that won't happen. He just thinks that's fine, and that it will eventually create a utopia.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Randall Frog is another IP you can look up. Everything that is not 13th Age is somebody else's IP because we're doing fanfic. That's what we're doing.
Right.
What world is he from?
It's various Stephen King novels.
Oh, technically all of them. He's actually been the main bad in every single novel.
What about Gerald?
Well, okay, fine. But pre Stephen King accident, he was the big bad. He was in literally everything. He's the one who started it. He's the one who started the, what was the other one?
He's the bad in
Dark
Stephen
Tower.
King's expanded
Well,
universe.
Dark Tower,
The Stand.
The Stand.
I've
he's-
never read anything by Stephen King.
Yeah, he's been the one behind most of the big bads, which is what the Dark Tower was meant to tie up.
He made a brief appearance in The Witcher 3 for some reason I can't fathom.
Did he really?
Yes.
That's amazing. I have not played it.
So, yeah.
He's in one of the
I briefly considered hitting on him and decided that that was a bad idea.
So, yeah, he's also the one responsible for slaughtering everybody in her village.
Yeah, he killed all of my people.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
so we leave the High Druid.
Didn't he try and ask you to join him or something?
Yeah, he's trying to get us to join his cause.
After we
Huzzah.
spoke kind words over the High Druid's corpse and decided that,
All of her
Since we were-
stuff belongs to me now.
yeah, and decided that if she were alive today, she'd want us to have her boots.
Yeah. Boots, which by the way come in great handy later
Oh my god.
in our adventure.
Hydroid's boots.
High Druid's boots.
Yes.
And so we decide,
They're like boots of striding.
yeah, they let you run like a horse. Where did we go after that?
We went to the capital.
We did. We went to the capital to talk to the emperor.
Yes, we could not get a meeting with the emperor. We did end up getting a meeting, however, with the archmage.
Yes.
So
It was another icon.
Yes.
hold on. Because I called on Alanon. Was this before or after that?
This was during.
Yes.
It's around the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happened about the same time.
Because we were trying to find resources on
You
how
didn't-
to stop the worlds colliding, and so we're like reaching out on every thread we can get our heads on. He's like,
you
oh, we have this guy.
contacted Eleanor when you tried to contact Great Worm.
Yes. So I was attempting to contact the Great Worm. I find this like hill in a park basically, and I'm like, Great Dragon, I would like to speak to you, please. And I have these elf stones that let me communicate with people that are not with me, which is kind of cool. But instead of contacting the Great Dragon, I contact Alanon. And he's like, I will be there in just a moment. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so he shows up. And I don't remember what he told me.
He's like, well, he's her mentor.
Yeah, he's my mentor. I get to call on him.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of help to offer us because he doesn't know anything about our world.
Yeah.
He does know that the Great Dragon is transplanar.
Yeah, he's
So,
extraplanar.
extraplanar.
So
So
that's why
he's
I
not. He doesn't go to the different worlds, the different IPs like we do, but he's like in between heaven and hell because what he's supposed to do is prevent the demons from pouring out into the world. That's what he do.
Who's that?
The Great Dragon.
Yeah, okay.
the golden worm.
So it was suggested that we try to contact somebody that's actually on the world. So instead we try to get to the Emperor and the Archmage.
So I reach out to the Archmage using my elf stones and request an audience, and he comes.
Mhm.
He
Actually,
teleports over.
he teleports over to
Because
us.
it's strange magic he doesn't recognize.
Yeah, he's like, the fuck is this? And then we kind of tell him everything, actually, don't we?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
we tell him everything. And then, off.
Down. Nah.
We're kind of hoping we could find somebody in charge to tell us what to do.
Yeah, we don't know what to do. Arya, off.
We're level 1 heroes and the worlds are colliding. This is above our pay grade.
Yeah, this is way above our pay grade. We're still level 1 at this point.
And so the Archmage says to
Fine.
us,
Yeah.
I don't believe that you are powerful enough to help, and I don't believe that you're powerful enough to know what the hell you're talking about. So if you want me to listen to you, you have to go do this thing.
That's
Right.
Which
So-
is basically to close an Oblivion Gate.
Yeah.
okay.
Arya, off.
So yeah, he sends us south to city of Doveport, which is on the other side of the ocean. So wherever it ends up being,
She didn't do it. I just don't think it is.
somewhere. Okay, so
Fuck it, I'm just gonna make it cover the entire screen. Fuck all of ya. No, that's gonna be the entire screen now.
Just because.
I don't know what I did wrong. Why am I getting flipped off?
What did I do wrong?
I'm okay with this.
So we went down to Doveport and they had been
No,
attacked
he
by.
teleported us
He
to
teleported
Doveport.
us to Doveport. We find out they've been attacked by demons. They came from the south. We go south. We find the gate. We kill the demons. We close the gate.
They're not demons, they're Daedra.
We do not know that. We have
Right,
not been
but-
told the word Daedra.
The people watching at home may know what Daedra are.
Well, yeah, they'll figure out from
So,
Oblivion
so,
Gate.
so,
Okay.
the way that we killed them was actually really cool because I have the ability to teleport people up to 100 kilometers away, and so we did, straight up into the air.
Nice.
Because how else do level 1 people kill Daedra? They're scary, huge demons. I'm not gonna fight them, are you kidding me? They've killed all the town guards.
Yeah.
Daedra are creepy.
Daedra are creepy and large.
And if not straight up into the air, to the side.
Where
off
there's
the island
lava.
and into the ocean
nice.
of lava.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, into the lava. There was a dragon inside this Oblivion Gate that
Yes,
we
that
just
is-
decided to just, you know,
Yeah, that is one thing we
We're not
did notice.
gonna-
It's a giant, very scary dragon
black dragon.
that was locked up
Oh.
and making a lot of noise, and we just kind of went the other way and didn't.
Yeah, we're just not
Walk
gonna.
away.
We're gonna let him do
We're
his
just
Good
gonna
thing.
like
Good
you
call.
do you, boo
So
boo.
we shut down the Oblivion Gate. We left. We went back, talked to the.
We have the sigil stone.
Yeah, we fetched the item we were told to fetch.
talked to the Archmage, and it turns out he's down with Randall Flagg's plan to consolidate the worlds, and we're like, fuck.
We don't want him to have this potentially really powerful magical stone thing from a different dimension.
So we run away.
So we run away.
We ran away
Like
like.
lords.
Oh,
I mean, it's the arch freaking mage. We're level 1. No.
So he chases us.
Despite the teleporting ability. Like, he's able to follow us through teleportation.
so eventually we get
Really
to.
frustrating.
Did we get to the mountain?
Yeah, we
we,
did a mountain
we
pass.
went to a mountain pass inside. We're gonna make our last stand.
And so we set a bunch of traps for him.
Yep.
We spent like an hour sitting there discussing, like, there were layers to this shit.
Yeah,
like,
there
one of
was
us
a-
was
there
using
was
our
a
teleporting
pit
ability
with
to
sticky
teleport
stuff.
out dirt so that we have a giant pit. We're gonna have like spice and sticky web in there to. Then we're gonna
And
have a
then,
rock
like-
slide,
Like
and then we're going
a
to
fake
freeze.
floor that disappears, and then we're gonna have a fake floor that we're standing on.
Yeah.
Make it
And then
fake
we're gonna
floor.
teleport off of the fake floor up over here so that we don't get caught in the landslide.
We're freezing the rocks, and then we're burning them so that they explode.
We coated the bottom of the pit. So the pit, when they first fall into it, because we created fake ground, and they fall into the pit, it's sticky spikes. So you think that that's the pit, that's the trap, right? Well, the sticky and the spikes is just supposed to distract them from the fact that the entire thing was covered in sawdust,
Yes.
which I ignited.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
And then we brought down
So
the
now
rocks.
it's sticky spikes on fire.
Alright,
Well, it
nice.
exploded. And then we brought down the rocks, which we also exploded.
That's one way to.
And then it took
get
us
an
forever
Archmage.
to actually kill him, but we were able
Because
to
he survived
manage.
that.
Yeah,
Of course.
he's the Archmage.
Which, the fact that we won it all is very suspicious. Eventually, what happened is one of his spells backfired and he disintegrated himself.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we
Uh,
took credit for it.
Yeah.
But it is entirely possible he was weakened somehow.
And we don't know
Um,
how.
Yeah.
And our characters are not aware of this, but every single attack we threw at him hit. No matter how low we rolled.
They were, yeah, we did damage,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
very bizarre. So,
So all we know as characters is that we should not have been able to kill him, but we somehow did.
Yeah.
Because we don't know level 1, obviously. But we do know that we're just some assholes.
Yeah.
And this is This guy's been alive for centuries.
Literally centuries.
Literally centuries. And so the fact that we kill him doesn't make any sense to us. The only thing interesting he had on him was a key to his wizard's tower.
Which I stole during battle, and I
And a coin purse that had very little coin in it.
Yeah.
Ah,
We kind of figured he might be like the Aes Sedai where he doesn't actually have to pay for his shit.
right.
And that's true, apparently.
Ah,
So then we decide that we're going to go try and find the Elf Queen's successor because she's dead too.
Yeah, a lot of the
A lot of
icons-
the icons have now died because Randall Flagg's an asshole.
Anybody that doesn't join him gets killed.
and they pretty much don't want to join it.
Some of them have.
Yeah.
Obviously the Archmage did. According to the Archmage, the Emperor and the High Priestess, which by the way, aside from the Golden Dragon, are like the good ones.
Yeah. So the good guys are joining the bad guys' side.
Yeah.
And it's
The-
really frustrating.
The only good ones that we know for certain haven't joined the bad guys' side are the ones that he killed, which would be the Druid and the Elven Queen.
Which sucks, because we were really hoping that they would be able to help us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
on the way back,
we're teleporting our way, and I can only do 100 kilometers at a time, and I failed a whole bunch of my rolls, and so we didn't get very far. We're trying to make our way to the point on the lower continent that's closest to the upper continent.
little
so that-
peninsula thing.
Yeah, so that we can hop across the water without having to go all the way around.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Or
But on the
boat.
way,
Or get a boat
we come
and
across
sail.
the army.
But since we didn't
Since
make
we
it,
stopped,
Yeah.
we stopped to rest so I could get more mana, so I could Elfstone
Keep
Power, I
going.
don't know what it's called. So I can rest, and we see an orcish army approaching from the south, headed towards Doveport. Doveport?
Doveport.
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 Okay, Doveport. And so I take off my shoes and I hand them to Odin, and he puts them on, and he runs like a horse
and he carries me with him
with D on his back
because I can
because he
feel
is a
him,
horse.
and I can keep him. I can keep him energized enough because he's not going to get tired if I can continuously heal his exhaustion.
The most
the
amusing
idea
part
is-
about this is that it
yeah.
takes them about 9 hours to get.
Yeah.
to
The idea is
to
that you
Doveport.
get there first and you
Yeah.
warn them ahead of us.
Yeah.
But it only takes me 8 hours to rest up enough, and so we actually beat them there.
Oh well.
So we get there and we're like,
It was
oh
the
yeah,
thought
by
that
the way,
counts."
we closed that Oblivion Gate because we totally forgot to tell the village that we did that, and they're like, oh yeah, thanks.
By the way, while we got attacked, our governor died, and we don't actually have anybody in charge.
Also, we knew that the orc army was coming because the orc lord is meeting with the
Crusader.
Crusader.
Yep. The Crusader.
And they're both super evil dudes, and we're like, oh, fuck.
Hold up. Let's be fair to the Crusader.
He's the Crusader of the Dark Gods.
Right.
Explicitly.
I understand that, but he does fight demons. He just has run out of demons.
And so
I'm
the
just putting that on the
demon,
table.
the demon that he's now fighting is anybody who is not devout followers of the dark gods.
Well,
So
you
what
know.
that happens is his motivation still tracks. He serves the Dark Gods, and the Dark Gods want to rule the world. As a consequence, they don't want the world destroyed. So he prevents the world from getting destroyed by demons, and now by Randall Flag. So he is on our side.
apparently.
Yep. And so he's setting up a meeting to negotiate the orcs' surrender to him because the orcs also don't want the world destroyed. They don't think they're gonna get to live in the utopia
Yeah, because they're orcs.
because they're orcs.
And the first orc lord was killed, and this is a new orc lord.
Yeah. So
And we thought that Randall Flag killed the old orc lord. Apparently that's not true.
no, the new orc lord killed the old one.
Yeah. So we get to the town, and the town guard hasn't been paid in 3 months. There's no governor in the governor's mansion, and shit's gone south. And so we're like, here, gold.
Some giant bag of money from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay the town guard. Let's set up a feast for the Orc Lord and the Crusader because we don't want to offend either of them because they're super powerful and we don't want them to destroy this little
And then
town.
we will
Yeah,
act as
and-
intermediaries.
Yeah, we'll negotiate for the interests of Doveport, and by the way, the feast is gonna be
Oh,
outside.
by the way, she's bastard noble, and so she was raised as nobility.
I was raised with nobles. I was explicitly told I wasn't gonna inherit shit. In fact, I don't even know who my noble parents are. It's just that it would have been an embarrassment, but they didn't really want to also like leave me wherever I was supposed to be. I don't know all the details. I'm explicitly not told why it was that I got the upbringing that I did. Only that it happened. I have a couple of theories. I'm not dumb. I think that maybe they didn't necessarily want to kill off my mom or dad. It was not the person that the noble should have been shulking with. And they didn't want to kill me. So in order to get the silence, I got the nice upbringing. That's my theory. I actually don't know. So having this noble background, I roll in like I'm the noble. And I'm like, so I've already paid the town guards, and there's no one currently living in the governor's mansion, so I think I'm going to live in the governor's mansion.
So we're in charge.
Yep.
We own a town, bitches.
So the Crusader had actually sent people ahead to secure his place there. Unfortunately, what he had done is that he had sent people that he had managed to conquer that were extraplanar travelers, because we're not the only ones who have accidentally traveled between worlds. So some people from the Wheel of Time have come through, and they know what an Aes Sedai is and recognize me as such, so they just obey me now.
Which is super convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I come in and say I'm in charge, and they're like, sounds good to us.
Yes, you are.
So, yeah, so now we control that town.
We set up a feast, and
Anyway, so here's what
Oh,
actually
yeah.
went down during
Yeah.
that meeting.
So the meeting.
It was going well enough
well,
until
Until
the black dragon randomly shows up.
one of the three dragons who thinks that they're gods.
The most evil of the creatures in this world, apparently.
yes, they're
Most evil and most powerful.
Along with the red dragon shortly after.
Who is not only the most evil and most powerful, but also the biggest. He's huge. Black dragon is a female.
Yes.
The black and blue are explicitly female in the text. The red is not gendered, so we went ahead and did boy.
Because, you know,
Balance.
Yeah.
So
bring balance to the force.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the negotiations were going to start, and the black dragon rolled in and said, so the red dragon's coming and y'all are going to wait for it. The Orc Lord, the new Orc Lord, and the Crusader tried to attack the black dragon, and I stopped them. Because I thought that that was going to go poorly for Doveport if these three people clashed right outside town and said,
Yeah.
motherfuckers, these are peace talks, do you not know how that works? And since they don't understand my magic, since it's extraplanar magic, they just sat there and glared at me and said that they would kill me later. And then they sat and waited for the red dragon to show up.
Which took 6 hours.
Which took 6 hours and was the biggest thing ever. So I'm like, okay, so the red dragon's here now. If y'all wanted to go ahead and fight, I'm actually not going to stop you this time. They gave me death glares. So then they started the peace talks. The red dragon said he's going to mediate. I was like, that was my job. But then the Orc Lord was all like, no, motherfucker, Crusader, you lied to me. You said you controlled this area, and that person says that she controls this area.
Because orcs are dumb.
Because orcs are dumb. So, so the orc says, so you're going to surrender to me, and I think the dragon's got my back on this. The Orc Lord got eaten.
Yeah. Probably. And then we picked a new Orc Lord and said, here, sign this.
Yep.
And he did.
So he signed the surrender over to the Crusader, and then the
Lord.
dragon informed us that Randall Flagg was going to try to destroy the world, and that we were to prevent him from doing so. That was
Because we didn't already know this.
because we didn't already know this or already planned it, but now we've been given explicit instructions by the most evil thing on this world that we're supposed to do that.
Yay.
Yay! Because that's the kind of GM we have.
So, yeah, we've noticed that all the evil creatures are on our side, and it makes us question our side frequently.
Elenon is not evil.
True.
No, Elenon's probably the only obviously good person.
Speaking of Elenon, so we summoned him. When did we summoned him prior to clashing with the Archmage.
Yep.
And apparently nobody can see him except us and the Red Dragon, and he's just been, tagging along this whole time,
He's been observing,
observing. Yeah, just 'cause he can.
giving her hints and tips on how to use her elf stones.
Yeah, he's like Navi.
Yeah.
Not actually that useful, but sometimes gives us some tips that
Significantly less annoying.
are helpful. Yeah, actually.
Lock
Yeah.
on with the L button and press X to fire.
Yes, thanks, I know that.
He generally does not offer advice unless he's directly asked, which makes him infinitely better. Also, he's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Show a picture of Elenon from the show.
You bet.
Actually, can we show
That's a neat-
Al in a picture? Because.
Sure.
Off. I
Anyway,
bone.
what happened after that? Then, okay,
We
so
made sure that the town was good to go if we left.
Mm-hmm.
You put someone in charge.
Yeah,
and then
Off.
I put 2 little bureaucrats that had been following me around and conveying my orders to people.
so we decided to.
He has the saved side of the head that I think is a cool hairstyle, and he has tattoos.
Oh yeah, I should show the tattoos too.
Yes, show a picture
Show
of
the
him
side,
shirtless.
yeah, any one of those pictures along the top, right there. That one works. Oh, that's a scar. Okay.
Yeah, they're scars. They're not tattoos.
Ah,
Cool.
So we've got this guy
Badass.
following us around, and nobody else can see him.
Alright.
he looks better in motion. I remember him being more attractive.
Okay. How did we make it to our next destination?
Teleported.
You teleported.
I teleported. I know that my magic can create a gate which can travel unlimited distance. So I rolled, I succeeded, and I used more magic than I actually have. So I collapsed.
One important thing we did miss:
Mhm.
the dragons. We got a plate at some point.
Oh yeah.
You can.
Yeah, you can show. Well, we should show.
They're not gonna see
I'll
that.
make a graphic in Illustrator. So.
Okay.
And Elemental needs to see it.
It's
Yeah.
like a circle. I will show you for that purpose,
Yeah.
though. But yeah, apparently, this is what it looks like.
So we have to activate all these different sections.
It's a square with a
so-
circle with like. You'll have it on
So
screen.
this is a plate. It's a round plate, but it has those symbols inlaid in it.
And then these labels are like the thing that's supposed to activate that section.
Yep.
I only had a couple different kinds of elf stones, and then the dragon mentioned that I should have the gold ones, and I was like, I don't have gold elf stones. And he's like, Alanon. And Alanon's like,
Pretty
there you
much.
go.
Yeah.
And then he ends up giving me like 3 more different kinds.
Yes, orange and violet.
Orange, violet, and gold,
Yes.
in addition to the ones that I already had.
We're going to make her a gauntlet with these magic stones on them so that she can just keep it that way. It's
Yeah.
more convenient than having sacks of rocks.
Yeah, that sounds a
Because
lot
right now I
better.
have a sack with a bunch of rocks in it.
I mean, that works.
Yeah.
But
So like I have to like dig through and be like, is this one purple or blue? It's dark.
It's
I can't
poor
tell.
lady.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to use the wrong ones. So,
Especially the black one.
yeah.
So yeah,
I'm
alright.
gonna call it the really big gauntlet.
yes,
Gauntlet. Oh, Elstone.
the
But-
forever glove.
I like that.
I get to
But
name it.
anyway,
It's my
the reason we
glove.
want to fill out, the reason we need to, and basically in doing this, the dragon let us know that we need to all discover our hidden powers, which we can then use on this plate to transport between the worlds. So now our primary goal is to discover our powers and activate the plate. After that, we teleported to, I don't think we remember what an elf city.
Palace of the Elf Queen.
We went ahead and went back to our original goal of trying to find the next elf queen, because we figured that the icons, it's part person, part title. So if we can get another person to inhabit the title, we will have an icon back. So the elf queen might have an heir, And that's easier than finding the person who should be the next High Druid.
Because the High Druid doesn't have an obvious heir. It's
Yes.
just the most powerful druid in the world at the time.
Yeah, so it's not a heretical.
Sure.
It's not
Hereditary.
Hereditary. It's not a hereditary title.
Okay.
Whereas the elf regent, I suppose,
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
a hereditary title. Our words are hard.
The words are hard. You are not wrong.
So we teleport into the. Oh yeah, behind her ears. I brush them out like once a week.
Get scissors.
And,
Okay, no scissoring the dog.
That's not going to be a good video.
You're going to acknowledge my persona now.
Just because you have personas doesn't mean you get to scissor the dog.
No, but it's for the comment about scissoring the dog. Now you have to acknowledge your persona.
No, I don't have to acknowledge any personas whatsoever. So
It pisses her off. That's what makes it best.
furries are the worst thing in the world. I'm sorry, my furry audience. You are the worst thing in the world.
Anyway, we make it to the palace of the Elf Queen. And the guards are very confused that we're there because there are many, many wards that should have prevented us from actually being able to show up there.
Yes, that's where you are.
And they didn't work.
And they didn't work because extra planar magic. And also the
Yay,
that's where we
Matt.
are. Yay, Matt.
I want to point out that I'm not actually a furry. I just claim to be to annoy her.
Yes, if
Too
she
late.
ever does turn out to be a furry, we are getting divorced.
I feel super like you're not acknowledging who I am on the inside.
That's because I'm not. I'm just making that clear.
Oh my god. Anyway. Ladies.
Don't care. You're not a real person if you're a furry.
Oh
this-
shit.
Um,
Oh, it's only we have 15 people watching this.
19.
19. All 19 of them are furries. Unsubscribe.
Don't care, you're still the worst. We had plenty of furry jokes on our other RPs too, so.
okay. So
Yes, you're at the Elf Palace. You talked to the Elf Prince.
yes.
The Elf Prince said he has 2 people he would like you to meet,
Yes.
and you are one of them.
Yeah.
You're one of the Elf Prince's personal guards that he is tasking with the other 4 of you.
Oh, also, we found out that there are literally no other druids in the entire world except me, which technically makes me the High Druid. Should I choose to accept the title?
We don't advertise that you. We don't suggest that you take the title. It seems kind of being a target on you. Also, it would bind you to this world, and we need to be able to travel.
For like vacations and
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, here, one of these worlds has a casino with a lot of extra shit on it that nobody really wants.
stuff. Casino Dimension. That'd be awesome.
Are you making a Star Wars reference?
I am!
Yay!
Yay!
We're full of references as well. Everyone knows this. But, so that is the story up to this point.
It has taken us 3 months to do all of
It
that.
has taken us 3 months to do all of that. We've had a few people here, and then they're not here anymore. And that's okay. So,
What are we going to do with him?
oh, don't worry, I got everything planned.
Okay, cool.
We're good.
His
He's
NPC
gonna
is still
die.
around.
Is
No.
NPC still here?
Okay, yeah.
Odin is still here.
Yeah,
He is
we've
still
been,
part of the
he's
party.
been helping.
And
He's
doing
been
opium.
helping.
And drinking and doing opium,
He's
apparently.
been carrying our shit and letting me practice magic on him.
How
Yeah.
nice of him.
Right? He's been very helpful.
It's also been a nice edge in battle.
Yeah,
Because without a tank class, it's difficult. We're all fairly
Right.
we're all fairly
squishy.
squishy, so
Right,
thank you.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Alright, so, basically, the elf prince says, I have 2 people I want you to meet. You go ahead and describe yourself through the door.
Oh,
What?
So the elf prince says that Randall Flagg has already come to visit him, And so has the red dragon.
Yes.
So he's kind of in between a rock and a hard place now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them said, follow us or we'll kill you. We said, follow us or
I guess
We'll
leave. But
I mean-
we'd really appreciate your help.
Yeah. We're not going to do join us or die, since that's the evil thing, and we can at least not do that.
Yeah. But like, please help us.
Yeah. I mean, we can't promise that we won't come into conflict later, but we're not gonna murder anybody on our way out.
Okay, so I'm coming through the door.
You are coming
Yes,
through the
you
door.
are coming through the door.
Who are you? What do you look like?
Okay, so I walk through the door. I'm this tall human guy. I'm dressed pretty simply, just clothing, just regular clothing. And
As opposed to the fancy kind.
yeah, just
Well, we're in an
Plain
open
old
court,
clothing.
so yeah, there's probably lots of fancy clothing.
You feel underdressed no matter what.
yeah, I'm a monk of sorts. I've lived as a monk for a while. And I come out, introduce myself. My name is Ronald. And I have heard of your quest.
Oh.
I want to join.
Yay!
Well, we're happy to have more swords.
Yes. I've trained extensively in hand-to-hand combat techniques, as well as methods to withstand very heavy blows.
I'm sorry, you said you were a fighter earlier, and I assumed that you had a sword. Do you have a sword?
I do use weapons as well.
Are you carrying a sword right
No.
now? No? Okay, then we're always happy to have more hands. I wouldn't have said sword if you weren't on one.
Assistance.
How did you come and get to be involved in this larger struggle?
I received this vision from the great gold dragon a long time ago that kind of showed me that I wasn't enough. I used to be a bodyguard, but I wasn't able to protect as well as I needed to be able to.
So the gold dragon sent you here to join our quest, because we are so happy to hear that, if that's the case. We've been kind of
Hoping to hear from him.
Well, I don't really have any actual information from him. I just know that I was supposed to be here.
Alright,
Perfect.
good enough for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take it.
When I was a little kid, Randall Flagg took me around and I got to meet the Great Dragon. Apparently. This was a blocked memory.
It's still mostly blocked.
Still mostly blocked. But Randall Flagg told me about it.
And he's trustworthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's totally trustworthy.
To be fair, he has not lied to you guys at all.
Says
Not yet.
Okay.
That we're aware of.
I'm just saying, he has not lied to the party, you know, I'm not saying that makes him
remember
good.
how the elf prince told us that there are no more druids in this world? My family is all druids. And if we saw them and they were alive, but he says that there are no more alive druids in the world, then they must be undead. So my family didn't actually survive.
You don't know that.
Potentially.
It could be on a different
Banter.
world.
Actually, Banter told me that.
Okay.
Well, Banter told her that, yes, but, in,
Banter decided that my family is undead.
it's true.
Banter.
True. Banter did decide her family's undead. The DM has not decided her family's undead, however, Banter has decided her family's undead.
So Banter is the name of the chat channel that we talk in when we're not here.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, off.
Alright.
In walks a second person, female. She is kind of short. She's only about 4'9". She has a bald head and green eyes, but she has smooth brown skin. And she is carrying and is fully decked out in plate mail with a great helm with a visor. And she introduced herself as Jacqueline, Keen Seeker, and says she's here to help you on your quest.
Well,
What do
you're
you
always
want?
happy to have a sword. Okay.
She looks at you like, what does that mean?
I don't have a sword.
It's a great sword at her side.
Odin has a sword. Odin has a sword that will pull off a Daedra.
Daedric, great sword.
Those are good.
I nod to her. Your help would be greatly appreciated.
Wonderful.
Uh,
The elf prince then says, excellent, you've met my two finest warriors. I will leave you to your machinations, shall we say. If you do need any assistance from me, I will be in hiding for a while.
That might be best.
Yeah.